This animation models a modern legal tension. While courts need the speed of algorithmic processing to manage growing caseloads, constitutional law requires that the reasoning behind a decision be fully accessible and auditable. The risk lies in the algorithmic black box. If software makes a legal recommendation, the logical pathway to that conclusion cannot be a proprietary secret. It must be visible to a human. To address this, India has released a framework that moves beyond abstract ethics into a specific, detailed set of enforceable regulations. This document is the public draft of the Regulations for Use of Artificial Intelligence, AI, in Courts 2026. This regulatory framework originates from the Supreme Court of India. Managing the integration of AI into the legal system requires moving past vague promises of responsible tech and into a codified structural legal architecture. The draft regulations provide a detailed roadmap consisting of 57 clauses organized into 10 distinct chapters. This document establishes what is being called a distinctly Indian approach to legal technology. It sets a non-negotiable boundary. AI is permitted to accelerate judicial administration, but it is strictly prohibited from substituting for human judicial reasoning. These 10 chapters function as a sequenced mechanism designed to actively police that boundary at every stage of the legal process. The innovation of this document is not just its philosophy, but how it structurally engineers human accountability into the procurement and deployment of these systems. We map this architecture as a 3-tiered stack. The base logic boundary divides legal tasks into 2 categories, permissible and prohibited. Chapter 2 ensures technological integration aligns with constitutional rights. Chapter 3 operationalizes this, permitting administrative workflows while strictly prohibiting algorithms from generating final rulings. By categorizing these tasks preemptively, the court aims to mitigate systemic bias before the AI tool is ever active. These rules apply uniformly, regardless of whether the software is developed in-house or purchased from a private vendor. By defining the limits of what AI cannot do, the first 3 chapters lock the technology into a subordinate role. Conceptual boundaries require physical infrastructure to enforce. The middle layer of the framework acts as a pipeline of data flowing through rigid filter gates. External technology introduces a conflict regarding transparency. Private companies often treat their algorithms as proprietary secrets, which prevents the public from seeing how a conclusion was reached. Chapter 6 addresses this by dictating procurement standards. It requires private vendors to meet the court's transparency metrics as a condition of their engagement. Securing the initial procurement is only the first step. Software models can drift or change over time. To manage this, Chapters 4 and 5 establish continuous institutional oversight and a system for live incident management. Routine audits function as a recurring stress test, verifying that the algorithm has not strayed from its permitted administrative boundaries. This infrastructure ensures the court dictates the terms of engagement to technology companies, rather than allowing black box systems to be imposed on the judiciary. In any complex system, errors occur. Even with audits, an algorithm may misinterpret data or hallucinate an edge case. The final layer of the stack provides security and a formal path for remedy. Chapter 7 acts as the hard armor, protecting sensitive judicial data from cyber threats and unauthorized access. Chapter 8 focuses on internal training, ensuring that judges and clerks understand the specific technical limits of the tools they use. But the final safeguard addresses the citizen. What happens when the algorithm makes a mistake? Chapter 9 establishes formal grievance redressal. If an error is identified, the issue is routed via a dedicated pathway directly to a human adjudicator. This loop ensures that the final arbiter of any dispute involving an algorithm is always a human being. These interlocking chapters show that the regulations are designed as a functional machine to protect existing legal rights. Zooming out from the mechanics of the courtroom reveals the broader implications of this framework. Because these draft regulations are so comprehensive, they effectively set a standard that functions like a standalone law. This establishes a benchmark for due diligence, the minimum baseline of care an institution must take when deploying AI. The Supreme Court's framework establishes the highest benchmark for due diligence currently available in the country. Other sectors now have a high authority reference point. The court's internal rules are becoming the standard that other industries are measured against. By establishing these internal controls, the judiciary has provided a structural model that is now being adapted for broader national use. This creates an immediate impact on government policy, as existing AI plans are reevaluated to ensure they meet the judiciary's accountability standards. The private sector is also responding to this recalibration. For example, the DGPSI AI framework, used in the non-judicial sector, is currently being upgraded to align with these principles. This alignment ensures that private sector AI deployment is compatible with the constitutional requirements reflected in the court's 2026 regulations. We began with a core tension between automated efficiency and human justice. The solution provided is a concrete, structural mechanism for enforcement. India's approach provides a guarantee that AI will remain an assistant, controlled by a mandatory human override. The focus has shifted from the discussion of abstract AI ethics to the implementation of codified structural governance.